You're now tuned in to By the Dipshits exclusive content. This is a three-part interview with Jarred Weisfeld O.D.B, last manager. Before we jump into the interview, By the Dipshits want to give a special thanks to our sponsors. What is Galaxy Wells? Galaxy is a metaphor which represents infinite space. Their goal is to dominate the infinite space in the digital publishing universe. Wells are the major corporation that possess endless amounts of content. What do? They turn content into currency in the digital space, the home of the NFTs. You want to keep your ownership and intellectual property? Then stop what you're doing and go to galaxywells.com. Now I'm back to By the Dipshits. This is another episode of By the Dipshits. It's where the dip creates the opportunity. I'm Mills.
I'm D. Lamaj.
I'm JC.
Today's episode, he created and produced television shows for VH1, MTV, Spike TV, and Nickelodeon. He filled some big shoes executive producing on Gone Too Soon, which was seen in over 50 countries. Currently serve as CEO of Objective Entertainment, a full-service literary agency that represents over 250 authors. I will not forget, he was rap superstar, legend, Old Dirty Bastard, aka Dirt McGirt, last manager, Jarred Weisfeld. What's up, my brother?
How you doing today? Thank you for having me on.
Man, thank you for getting on, man. We appreciate it.
Peace.
Let's get right into it, man.
Sure.
As far as like, your background, give us a little backdrop. How do you, where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Rockland County, New York, which is about 30 miles away from the city, in Pomona and Fields as well. And I went to Rampo High School. My dad was one of the founders of Mud Jeans and Paper Denim and Cloth. And basically, I was a kid that liked to golf and I liked pop music. And I didn't like school very much, but it is what it is. I used to play soccer, tennis, golf, basketball, soccer. If I already said that, I like to do everything. The one thing I didn't like growing up actually was hip hop music.
Say what? You didn't like hip hop?
No, I didn't like rap music, hip hop music at all. I was more of like an NSYNC, Backstreet Boys kind of listener. And yeah, I know it's strange.
No, it's not strange. That's usually how it works. Sometimes you just don't realize, because there's different pockets in hip hop. You just don't realize which one. But eventually it grows on you.
Dirty didn't like hip hop either. So
yeah, he probably but did he like R&B and soul?
R&B, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why he sung a lot, which was dope.
I can see that.
How was your childhood though?
It was normal. It was just I grew up more, going to, it was a pretty tough school actually, which actually helped me later on in life. But it was normal. Two mom, dad, sister, older sister. They used to beat up everybody for me that would mess with me. It's just lots of cousins. I grew up Jewish, right? So, it was I was I was bar mitzvahed Orthodox, but that was only because it was the only temple within like 20 minutes from my house.
Right.
So I am not Orthodox. My family's not Orthodox, but it was literally the only temple around my area. So it wasn't a very Jewish population. It was very, very, very diverse, which is what I like, right? I like, nobody likes diversity more than me, because I think it builds character and it also enables you to see the world as it really should be.
Right. Did you grow up with both parents?
Grew up with both parents. Yep.
Oh, cool. Any siblings?
Older sister.
Just a sister, yeah. No brothers?
No brothers. she would beat me up like she was my older brother.
Me too.
No.
I mean, that's how my sister was. She used to whip my ass, to be honest. She was like 6 years older than me. I don't know why. She never let nobody bother me or mess with me, but she used to really like abuse me. But I guess I relate.
There was a bully in school that he also lived down the street from me, and he came on a quad one day, and he went to like hit me. And my sister said, you know, you better not do that again. And the kid came down the quad and he went to hit me again. She grabbed him by the throat and threw him off the quad.
Wow.
And just started beating the piss out of him.
Yeah, they don't really like people messing with you, especially, you know, that's their job.
Yeah. So we used to call her the what was her nick? I forgot her nickname. We used to call her we called her something because she had no fear. And if anybody messed with her brother, they knew that, you know, it was going to be a problem for them. So I'm grateful for her. You know, I have all of my teeth thanks to her.
Thank God, right?
Thanks, sis.
Yeah.
So did you grow up like middle class, poor, rich?
Oh, I grew up middle class up until I was probably about 13, and then it was probably a little bit upper middle class.
Ooh. So your parents is from the United States, or they're from somewhere else?
Both my parents are from the United States. My dad is from Brooklyn, and my mom is from Long Island.
Dope.
Yeah, my dad actually always used to joke around with me because when I was younger, I had like 0 street smarts. So he used to say to me, I'm going to drop you off in Brooklyn for the weekend, and hopefully you come back and, you know,
in one piece.
In one piece, knowing like some street smarts.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah. So my dad was, you know, he was a cab driver.
Wow.
And he turned that into, you know, starting to work in the clothing industry. But my mom was actually a showroom model for like clothes, and then she became a stay-at-home mom.
So I know you just said that you didn't really, you know, like school wasn't too much of your thing, and it wasn't something that, you know, held your attention as much. But was it easy while you wasn't there, or was it, you know, did you have any trouble, stuff of that nature?
Was school easy?
I mean, you know, for the most part, you know.
Well, I mean, like the actual schoolwork was like it was easy, but like the environment is so. When I was growing, I mean, in elementary school, no problems. Junior high, no problems. High school was tough because you know, like there were subjects there that you had to learn that I just couldn't stand. Right, like chemistry.
I was about to ask you which ones.
Chemistry, right? It's kind of like, and math, right? So you sit there in math and you're like wondering to yourself, like, why am I here? I'm never going to use this stuff ever. Like, teach me like how to do taxes.
Facts.
You know,
that's a fact.
You know, teach me something that, you know, that I can't just do on a calculator. And then with chemistry, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not looking to you know, build bombs when I'm older. So I don't really want to learn and, you know, how to make things explode. It's not my thing. And in biology, like, do I really want to take a frog and dissect it? No. So I was just kind of like, I was a really quiet, shy kid, but a lot of the teachers found me to be quite the wise ass. So
Right.
Yeah. So my mom actually said to me one day, which, you know, I'll never forget. She said, listen, I just want you to do me one favor. And I said, what, Mom? She said, call me before the teachers do. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, just give me a heads up before all your teachers start calling me so that, you know, I could at least defend you a little bit.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. So that's what I started doing. I would call my mom. The teachers, you know, would call and she would defend me. Because, you know, majority of the time, I'm going to be honest, like, I was a wise ass. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, you could see that later on in life when I would manage Old Dirty Bastard. I was a complete wise ass. But the point is like, I never did it. And the reason why I would do it was because, I didn't want to be in that class, right? So I'd be a wise ass to that teacher, maybe hoping some way, shape, or form I'd get sent to detention or something, so I didn't have to sit there and listen to the nonsense that was going on in school. So I was more of an athlete, right? So I would leave school early for tennis matches or golf, right? So I get to leave about 2 hours early. So that was also kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I grew up just a regular kid.
So in other words, you would say that you grew up normal. In other words.
Yeah, I grew up completely normal. Yeah, I mean, yes, completely normal. Right. Besides my bully sister.
So what was your experience like? I know that you did, graduate from college or have a BA. What was that experience like?
So I went on what you'd like to call a world college tour, right? Mm-hmm. So I graduated college in 4 years, but I also went to 4 different colleges, right? I started off at Rockland Community College. So back when I was growing up, you had an opportunity instead of your senior year of high school. You could have gone to college your senior year of high school and get college credits and graduate high school at the same time. It was a program they had. So I did that. Then I went to the University of Miami. I wasn't really feeling the University of Miami because it was kind of like, do I go to the pool or do I go to class? Right. So I tried to do both, and my grades there were decent. It's just I wasn't feeling the school because I knew what I wanted to do, right? I knew I wanted to be in TV production, and their facilities were good, but you weren't really allowed to use any of the stuff until you were a senior, and that was problematic for me. So then I decided that I wanted to go to Quinnipiac because they had the Ed McMahon School of Television. And so I go to Quinnipiac, and I'll never forget this. Remember, I told you my father grew up on the streets of Brooklyn in the projects, right? And he takes me to school, and he walks into the dorm room, and he says to me, "Call Miami, see if they'll take you back for a semester," right?
Right.
I was like, "Why?" He's like, "This is unlivable. I mean, this place is disgusting." He got down on his hands and knees and started cleaning up my dorm room.
What?
It was like, yeah, there were like cats in there. It was disgusting. And he was begging me. So my dad said, "All right, well, every Friday night, come home because you can't live at this place over the weekend." So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would go home, and I'd go back Monday morning. And if you knew my father and mother, you would know the last thing they wanted was me at home, right? They wanted me at school. It was kind of like they dropped me off at the University of Miami, and they were like, "Peace," right? So I then decided that I wanted to go back to Florida, and I went to a small school in Boca Raton called Lynn University, which was perfect because they had one of the best TV programs as far as it was an NBC affiliate actually, and I'd get to go there and mess around with the cameras, and then I get to go golf in the afternoon because my parents had a place down in Florida, so the best of both worlds. So believe it or not, it was kind of crazy. So I didn't realize until probably Lynn University, because I was always like, I don't really like school. Like I get decent grades, but at Lynn, maybe I should just like try harder, right? And I wound up graduating with like a 3.9 or something. But probably one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in my life. So Al Roker did our commencement speech, right? So
right.
Everybody loves Al Roker, right? How can you not love Al Roker? Right. So he gave a speech, and it was called Forecast for the Future. And he's telling us about one of his first weather jobs in Alabama, and how he was one of the only black weathermen. And he says that that the news anchor had gotten mugged the night before by an African American. And that day, the newscaster says to Al, "Hey, Al, one of your people mugged me yesterday." And Al goes, "You got mugged by a weatherman?" and the whole place like erupted, and we were, and it's kind of like that shows you the point is like Al Roker was telling us like the forecast for the future is everybody's the same, right?
Wow.
There's nobody, and that's the way I was raised. I was raised everybody is the same. If somebody comes over and a waiter and waitress, I say thank you so much. This is what I'm gonna have. Thank you. Yes please. That's the way I was raised. If I didn't say yes please and I didn't say thank you, like it wasn't gonna be a fun night for me.
You think that made a difference in your life?
Absolutely. It gave me respect. To this day, I respect every single person I come into contact with. I don't feel like I'm better than anybody, and I don't feel like anybody's better than me. I feel like everybody's the same. I don't care if you got $1 million or you have $1. I'm going to treat you the same exact way. Period.
Which is a good thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Everybody should have that type of energy.
Yeah. So Jarred, as far as your tenure in the music industry, what made you the industry itself, the entertainment industry, what made you want to work at VH1?
So I had just gotten off of, so this is actually a story that I'm not sure anybody actually knows this story. So it's kind of bizarre. So like I told you, I'm a bit of a wise ass. And so my father didn't like animals, right? So I decided that I was going to buy a pot-bellied pig, right? So I bought a pot-bellied pig and I named it Bacon, right? So now the pig's name is Bacon Weisfeld. So the pig, I had a pig pen made on the side of my parents' house in Florida. Now, mind you, my parents were never in Florida. My mom knew that I was doing it, right? But she was like, just don't let the pig in the house. Your dad will have a heart attack. So my dad comes down and he finally realizes I have a pig in the house. And then he's like freaking out. So I go back to New York, not because I got kicked out of the house, because I graduated college. The pig comes back to New York with me. And obviously, I live in my parents' house. At this time, I got approached by somebody who was like, do you want to fund the opening act of NSYNC's merchandise? I was like, you mean like the opening act of NSYNC's merchandise? Well, how much do you need? And they told me the amount that I needed, right? So at that same time, my dad said to me, he goes, I'm being honest with you, how much to get rid of the pig? I said, what do you mean? He's like, I can't have that pig in my house. Like, put it on a farm. How much money do you want to get that thing out? And I gave him the same exact number that the person wanted for me to do the NSYNC merchandise, right? So he gave me the money. I got rid of the pig. I gave the pig to a friend to put on a farm because the pig was getting really big anyway. So it should have been on a farm. It was like, I was told it was a pot-bellied pig, but it was turning into like a 200-pound big pig. So I gave it to I put it on a farm. And then I took that money and I funded the opening act of NSYNC's tour. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I really like music. So I got lucky and I got a job at VH1 working on a show called Driven Little Kim, actually.
Exclusive content by the dipshits.